Thierry Henry is right. The World Cup is already a mess, and FIFA has no answer. The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts in just days. 48 teams, 104 matches, 3 host nations. The biggest sporting event ever organized in human history. And here's what the world is actually talking about right now. A referee from Somalia, selected by FIFA from over 200,000 officials worldwide, arrived at Miami International Airport with a valid visa. He was turned away, sent back, denied entry. His dream of becoming the first Somali to officiate a World Cup? Over. Not because he failed, not because FIFA pulled his badge, but because of a travel ban that had nothing to do with football. Then there's Iran. FIFA reportedly withdrew the country's ticket allocation for supporters. Fans who qualified for the biggest tournament on earth told they can't come. And tickets? The cheapest group stage ticket is listed at €51. The final? €5,727 for a tournament that claims to be for everyone. Thierry Henry, 1998 World Cup winner, one of the greatest footballers alive, said it plainly. The more I look at this World Cup, the more it feels like football is fighting battles that have nothing to do with football. That's what worries me. He's right. And today, we're going to show you exactly why. Welcome back to the Football Extra Live, where we go beyond the 90 minutes to cover the money, the power, and the stories that shape football at the highest level. If this is your first time here, subscribe, because this story is one you will not hear told this way anywhere else. Let's break it down. Let's start with a story that has shaken the football world in the last 24 hours. Omar Artan. Born in Mogadishu, Somalia in 1992, he grew up in a country that has faced decades of conflict, instability, and war. He became a referee not because it was easy, but because he refused to let his circumstances define his ceiling. He became a FIFA-listed referee in 2018. He made history in January 2024 as the first Somali to officiate at the Africa Cup of Nations. FIFA selected him as one of just 52 referees for the entire 2026 World Cup, chosen from hundreds of thousands of officials worldwide. Somalia's president, Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, personally congratulated him. The entire East African football community was celebrating. Artan himself said, "You cannot give up as a referee. You have to have a target. I had this target, but it was not an easy job." He arrived at Miami International Airport on Saturday, traveling from Istanbul. He had a valid US visa. He passed the first checks. Then, additional inspection. Then, denied entry. Determined to be inadmissible due to vetting concerns. No further explanation. Somalia is on the Trump administration's travel ban list, the same list that applies to tourists, immigrants, and asylum seekers, now applied to a FIFA-accredited World Cup referee with a valid visa. FIFA confirmed on Monday that Omar Artan will be unable to train and officiate at the FIFA World Cup 2026. He is currently back in Istanbul. The first Somali World Cup referee gone. Not because of anything he did, but because of the passport in his pocket. As Thierry Henry said, he earned that opportunity on merit. Yet suddenly, the story stopped being about football and became about something else entirely. Think about the financial and institutional dimension of this. FIFA invested years identifying, training, and certifying Omar Artan. The organization's reputation as a global, inclusive institution just took a serious blow. And not $1 of FIFA's $7 billion World Cup budget can fix the optics of turning away Africa's most respected referees at the border. Now let's talk about Iran. Iran qualified for the 2026 World Cup on merit. Their players trained. Their fans saved money. They bought tickets. They made plans to travel to North America for the biggest tournament of their lives. Then, reports emerged that FIFA had withdrawn Iran's ticket allocation for supporters days before the tournament. The Iranian Football Federation confirmed that visa denials affected several top officials, including Federation President Mehdi Taj, who also serves as a vice president of the Asian Football Confederation and sits on multiple FIFA committees. Only 4 members of the Iranian delegation, including the head coach, were reportedly granted entry into the United States. Iran's football chief called the US action non-sporting and confirmed FIFA, including President Gianni Infantino, was formally notified. FIFA's response? They promised to look into the matter with urgency. But here's the business reality. Iran is a country of 87 million people, a passionate football culture, fans who have followed their national team for decades. These are customers. These are ticket buyers. These are the people FIFA needs to make a World Cup atmosphere. Former FIFA chief Sepp Blatter, whatever you think of his legacy, openly backed calls to scrutinize the World Cup's US hosting. The geopolitical complications were visible from the moment the USA was announced as host. And Thierry Henry summarized it perfectly. Whether you're Iranian or not, fans should be part of the World Cup experience. Not the wealthiest fans, not the most politically convenient fans, all fans. And then there's the third issue, one that doesn't involve politics directly, but hits ordinary fans just as hard. Money. FIFA announced ticket prices for the 2026 World Cup ranging from €51 for group stage matches to €5,727 for the final. And those prices, subject to dynamic pricing, which means they can go higher. Add flights, add accommodation in American cities, which are among the most expensive on the planet. Add local transport, food, and matchday costs. A family of 4 attending one World Cup group game could easily spend $3,000 to $5,000 for a single match experience. This is not a World Cup for the ordinary fan from Tanzania, from Nigeria, from Indonesia, from Bolivia. It is a World Cup for those who can afford it. And here's the business contradiction at the heart of FIFA's model. The organization markets the World Cup as football's universal celebration. The beautiful game belongs to everyone. But the pricing strategy, the hosting location, and the geopolitical entry restrictions tell a completely different story. FIFA generated over $7 billion in revenue from the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The 2026 edition, with 48 teams and 104 matches, is projected to exceed $11 billion. This is not just sport, this is a business. And the business is increasingly pricing out the very fans whose passion makes the product valuable in the first place. Henry said it clearly. The World Cup should be accessible to ordinary football fans, not only the wealthiest ones. That sentence alone should be the mission statement of every football governing body on the planet. Here is the question nobody in mainstream media is asking loudly enough. Where is FIFA? FIFA President Gianni Infantino told the world this World Cup would be a total party. A flawless global celebration. He brushed aside the concerns. He pointed to record ticket sales. But record ticket sales don't tell you who is in the seats. They tell you who could afford the seats. FIFA's relationship with the United States government on immigration is defined by one statement they keep repeating. A host government ultimately determines who receives a visa and who is admitted into their country. Translation, it's not our problem. But it absolutely is FIFA's problem. When a FIFA-selected referee is turned away at the border, that is a FIFA credibility crisis. When a qualified nation's fans cannot attend, that is a FIFA inclusion failure. When ticket prices price out 90% of the world's football-watching population, that is a FIFA values failure. The organization collects billions. It markets itself as the guardian of the world's game. And at the first real test of whether that means anything, it hides behind legal disclaimers. Thierry Henry didn't hide. The danger is when political disputes begin influencing who can attend, who can officiate, and how supporters experience the tournament. That is a road football should avoid. That road has already started. The question is whether FIFA has the courage to turn back. Here's what makes all of this so painful. Football has achieved something no government, no religion, and no political system has ever achieved. It has genuinely united people from different cultures, different languages, different beliefs, on the same pitch, in the same stadium, cheering for the same moment. The 1998 World Cup in France brought Zinedine Zidane, a son of Algerian immigrants, to the center of French identity. The 2002 World Cup gave South Korea its greatest ever sporting moment. The 2010 World Cup in South Africa showed a continent to the world on its own terms. That is the power of this tournament, and it is fragile. It only works when the entry point is merit, not money, not passport, not politics. The referee earns their badge, the fan earns their ticket, the player earns their place. That purity is what makes the World Cup meaningful. The moment the conversation at the biggest tournament on earth is about travel bans and ticket prices instead of tactics and goals, football has lost something. Henry said, "Football has always been at its best when it unites people from different cultures, religions, and political backgrounds. That's the beauty of the game." He's a World Cup winner. He knows what that unity looks and feels like. And he's telling us right now, this tournament is not there yet. The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts June 11th. There will be incredible matches. There will be goals that people remember for the rest of their lives. There will be moments that remind you exactly why you fell in love with this sport. But right now, a Somali referee who survived a war zone to become one of the best officials in Africa is sitting in Istanbul, watching the tournament he earned on merit from a distance. Iranian fans who qualified alongside their team cannot come. And the cheapest ticket to see a match at football's biggest ever tournament is the same price as a week's wages for most people in the world. Thierry Henry said, "FIFA must make sure that football remains the main story. Politics has enough stages already. The football pitch shouldn't be one of them." He's right. Is FIFA listening? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think. And if you want coverage of every story behind the 2026 World Cup that goes beyond the goals and the tactics, subscribe and hit the notification bell, because this channel covers what the others won't. See you in the next one.